From Florida, Mr. Rutherford, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Director, thank you very much for your service. Thank you to your staff as well. I really appreciate you guys are so forthcoming with answers and information, even in preparation for this meeting. So thank you very much for that. I want to go back a minute to talk about the non-detained docket and the detained docket, actually, because when people look at the EROs and who's being deported, you know, we had last year, ICE deported 142,580. Now, I know from having spoken with you that there are some issues that stop us from and make those deportations difficult. That's why when Mr. Cuellar was talking earlier about some of these deportations and how we can expedite that, can you talk just for a minute and can you give us a list of the countries that give you a hard time or just completely resist taking these folks back?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the question. It is a complex procedure. So not only are these individuals encountered in, primarily by CBP, then they're turned over to ICE, and we have them through the life cycle of the civil immigration procedures. But if they're a threat to national security or public safety, they're going to be detained.
Sure.
And then otherwise, they would move on to the non-detained status, and depending on where we're at with our threat vector, they'll potentially have some alternatives to detention, so they won't be detained, but they'll be there, a subset of the non-detained. But it is not easy sometimes to remove these individuals, as you might imagine. You just can't turn them over. Right. You're going to have to work.
So how much help do you get, Director, in pressuring through the State Department or the President to get these people to take their own people back? How much help do we get there? And while you're thinking about it, can you actually give me a list of those countries that are most difficult to deal with?
Oh, certainly, yes. So I'll start with the second part first. We got Bhutan, top of the list there. Cambodia, they've been challenging. The People's Republic of China, although we've had some recent cautiously optimistic progress with the Chinese. So I want to say that it's moving in the right direction there.
Can you just provide us that list?
Yes, be happy to.
Thank you. And the other part?
And the other part is we're working collaboratively with the Department of Homeland Security writ large and the State Department. And I must say that throughout the Department of Homeland Security and the State Department, they're very forward-leaning in trying to rectify any of these recalcitrant countries. But there are a lot of geopolitical issues that involve that do not revolve around the immigration and removal, and it's not an easy issue for them either.
All right, and kind of following up on that, knowing that we have 1.2 million who already have their removal orders issued, and they're in every community in America. I know many law enforcement agencies like mine have a 287G program, which allows them to work through ICE to identify these folks when they're incarcerated, and then we expedite getting them out. Again, going back to Mr. Cuellar's point about expediting, we can expedite that, and ICE simply needs to come and pick them up. We put detainers on them, and they come and pick them up, and then they deport them. So Tay Johnson said, it's the best thing since sliced bread, this program. I tried to ask Secretary Mayorkas if he would make a commitment to expanding this program that's better than sliced bread. Couldn't get an answer. Can you tell me what you think about the 287G program, and should we be looking at expansion?
Well, sir, I must say I'm not as articulate or as funny as Mr. Johnson, so I do miss him. However, in my experience, a well-run and properly overseen 287G program is useful. It helps us partner with state and local law enforcement. It's one tool in a large tool bag that we have, but I must say I like every opportunity to partner with state and local law enforcement, and any chance I can do it, I will.
Thank you. And I see, Mr. Chairman, my time is burned up, so I'll yield back.
Thank you, sir. The floor now goes to